Hey guys, welcome back to
The Bounce Back.
I'm Alan.
And I'm Ariane.
And thank you guys so much for being here with us. We really appreciate all of the likes and as well as views. And shout out to our subscribers. We really appreciate our Bounce Back village.
And if you guys haven't subscribed yet and you're watching now, make sure you like, share, subscribe, ring that bell so y'all know when we drop new videos.
Yeah, just like that. Okay, well, today's topic, we wanted to cover something that we often converse about personally and think about on our own. And that is the effect of social media within relationships, both unmarried and married, and just give our take and see what you guys also think about it.
So as we know, social media is very prevalent. Social media.
That's funny.
All right, social media is very prevalent in our society, especially our generation. We would be considered millennials. We use it every single day. Some of us wake up to it and go to sleep to it. And it's just become a huge burden in our lives.
Yes. People wake up and the first thing they do is not even brush their teeth or check on their spouse or significant other. They just go straight to their timeline, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, morning breath, bonnet on, all that. So it's definitely the first thing that comes to a lot of people's minds. And it's not just the millennial generation. I believe that it's also the generation just before, and definitely for sure the generation below. I think that's Generation Z that uses social media so much and to where it's so prevalent. And my take on it is that social media within relationships should definitely be non-existent once it becomes serious.
I'm thinking back to a time where they had like the meme of like quote unquote relationship goals, and it'll be like this girl taking a picture of like all the gifts her boyfriend got her, like Victoria's Secret bags, Louis Vuitton bags, shoes, and all these clothes. And then on the picture, on the meme, it'll say relationship goals. And I feel like that people have taken that literally. They feel as though that if their spouse or their significant other doesn't do those things for them, like their relationship isn't real, quote unquote.
Instagram worthy, aka.
Yeah.
And for the people who don't know memes, those are just random photos with words that are sometimes relatable and relevant and sometimes so random that it's supposed to make it funny because it's so random. And you can find them throughout the whole internet and many social media platforms. I don't agree with social media within a relationship, a serious relationship, is because there are unnecessary pressures, as you mentioned. It's more of a glorified relationship and pedestalized relationship rather than a personal and internal relationship between two people. It becomes something that's projected to the world, and then that adds a completely unnecessary burden on both people's shoulders because it's almost as if there's no room for mess up because you have to keep up an image. You want to portray one thing versus the other. And many people would say that social media is important for family and making connections and staying connected with people. Yeah. And I agree to that note 100%. I can't argue with that. However, my objection to that is that I personally believe and know for a fact that everybody that I care about and communicate with on a regular basis is either within my contacts, my immediate contacts, or have a call log somewhere where I can contact them.
Yeah.
And that allows me the peace of mind. For the record, I don't use social media at all. And that allows me the peace of mind of, actually, I would call it solitude because it's just me and the people that I interact with regularly and daily. and that not only allows me to be able to give more time to them, but be able to give more genuine time to the people that I interacted with on a daily,
Yeah.
rather than, yeah, it's easier for me that way, honestly.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, honestly, social media, you're just watching people's lives. I mean, it could be people that you haven't talked to since fifth grade, and you know all about them. You know their mom's name, you know how many kids they have, you know what school they graduated from, but you haven't even spoken to them directly in like 10 years or so. And like you were saying before, how a lot of people say that that social media is important to keep up with friends and family. While that's true, it also leaves open so many other things that they can be involved in that can cause destruction within their relationship.
If you don't have proper self control and discipline, um, it can lead you to places where you don't want to place yourself in. There's multiple scenarios of cheating, abuse, just a lot of things that happen simply because social media is there.
And that goes for both men and women. Um, Another social media trend that was super popular was the thirst trap.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. The
And
trap. Yeah,
the
okay.
thirst trap, and I guess that can be for men and women, but
Definitely, it's both
specifically,
ways.
yeah, but specifically for women, it's like when they wear like
Just exposing
the skimpy
clothes, right?
outfits, or just thirst trapping
Anything
people.
that's supposed to entice the other individual, the other
Mm-hmm.
person sexually, to
Yeah.
where now that it's derailing them from their main focus. And that is another reason why I genuinely, wholeheartedly hate social media. And I haven't been on social media for, it's almost been 5 years now.
You guys, Alan hates social media. Like, hate
Oh my
social media.
guts.
Like, hate social media.
For the record, I don't judge anybody who uses it because it's just such a common thing. It's as common as having a pair of shoes now. It's almost absurd if you don't have it. The fact that it takes away from your partner, you're scrolling. It's almost how my sentiment on it is. What are you possibly looking for? I mean, it to me, it's almost an oxymoron or a bit ironic because it's called social. Yet I've seen so many partners and spouses out together, and they're both scrolling on their timeline or on their phone. There's no conversation. There's no communication. And while you're out there seeking social interaction or seeking to view what other people are doing on a social nature, you're being completely antisocial to your party, and that's not only your spouse, but it also, this conversation is about relationships, and that also extends to your friends that are around you, and even the so-called family that you've missed so much. Now that they're in front of you, you're just scrolling.
Yeah, that's very true. And yeah, I've definitely benefited from Alan's dislike for social media. We would be out maybe at dinner, and I would just subconsciously just log into my phone billions of times, just refreshing. Uh, a documentary that we watched gave a good example. The documentary is actually called Childhood 2.0. You guys can watch it on
Good
YouTube,
documentary,
and it's
great.
very good. It's by Bark. But they gave the example that the refresh button is like a slot machine. You know, like when you go to the casinos,
Okay.
it's like a slot machine. Like every time you refresh, you're looking for the reward of a new post, you know? I would just have that urge to log into social media to look and see what's going on when I have someone right in front of me and I'm not even interacting with them. I'm looking at other people interact with their friends, you know?
Yeah, that's real honest. That's real honest. I would prefer the face to face. We can crack jokes. A real life joke is way more valuable than somebody holding up their phone and showing you a meme.
That's
I
so
mean, somebody
true.
works so hard to find the
So true.
funniest thing to show you rather than engaging in conversation and actually generating something that's so funny that you can turn it into a meme. It's kind of weird and ironic.
It's like everybody's passing around the same joke. Like a
Yeah,
meme,
exactly. Instead of being original.
you're literally sending out the same joke that somebody else has created and passing it around.
Yeah, and Another reason as to why I don't really support social media within a serious relationship. I guess I would say, in general, I don't support social media, even as a single individual. I understand the importance of it because it does allow you to be social.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Big air quotes on that. It does allow you to be social and meet people,
Mm-hmm.
and we're talking on a real meeting intent, because a lot of social media has now boiled down to more of a hookup fling kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Every platform that I can think of is filled with uh, nudity, explicit suggestions,
Mm-hmm.
and this isn't from like celebrities or triple X performers or bathing suit models or
Mm-hmm.
supermodels.
Mm-hmm.
It's from your everyday somebody
Mm-hmm.
you know from down the street. You log in, and there they are, bam, and you see them, and it takes away from the wholeness of what relationships should be when
Mm-hmm.
it's already difficult enough with everything else that's piled on to a relationship without
Mm-hmm.
social media. You have life to deal with
Mm-hmm.
as a whole. You have to deal with keeping up and maintaining each other's happiness, paying attention to the details,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one thing that really uh, gets under my skin because you miss so many details that
Mm-hmm.
are what you can say Kodak moments
Mm-hmm.
because you're so intrigued by something that's so far away.
Yeah, that's so true. And also, like, just trying to keep up with the Joneses, you know? People do that regularly and individually when they look at social media. Like, say, like, I'm just scrolling through and I look at Kim Kardashian's Instagram, and now I'm like wanting to keep up.
You almost want to emulate that, and a lot of relationships are like that,
Yeah,
unfortunately, and
that's. Mm-hmm.
it's not authentic. It's fabricated, especially in an era where people don't really have as much. Uh, well, I wouldn't say that. Especially, I would say in a period where it is easy to not find your sense of self because there are so many
Mm-hmm.
uh, things and there's so many different angles, impressionable angles that are thrown at you that it can be hard to kind of, especially as you're trying to grow up and mature, it can be hard to
Mm-hmm.
figure out who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And now, until maybe you're a little bit older,
Mm-hmm.
you can fall victim into trying to keep up with everybody, as you said.
Mm-hmm. And we're also like in an era of hashtag doing it for the gram, you know? So even if you do get involved in a relationship, it's like, is it genuine or is this person with me for the sake of likes, you know?
Clout.
And it's sad too because it's just Instagram, it's just Snapchat, it's just Facebook. But people take it so much to the next level that they're just with someone just for the likes, just for the attention that they get online.
That sounds
Not
like
even in
business.
person, online, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess if it wasn't recorded through photography, um,
If
then
you
it didn't occur.
if you ain't do it for the gram, did it really happen?
No, I don't think so. I'm just joking. That's
That's
why I don't like social media.
crazy.
That's why
That
I
is
don't like social
crazy.
media.
But and another aspect to think about as far as like relationships and social media is the temptation that social media brings.
That's for sure unnecessary.
Unnecessary temptation that it brings, cuz like we said, it's just internet. You can log off, you know, but it's just such a prevalent thing in our lives now. So, with that temptation, you know, you're with your spouse, you're with your significant other, and you're worried about whether or not they're looking at this Insta models page or this Insta guy models page, or if they're looking at their exes, you know, or their old crushes, you know.
That
And
that's a great point, Ariane. That's actually a very great point. Um, the
just
counter argument to that may be, okay, well, are you insecure? Are you confident?
mm-hmm.
And I feel that it has nothing to do with that at all. It's actually a matter of peace of mind
Mm-hmm.
because um, if you are really with somebody and you value them so much. I personally don't see the point of uh, I don't see the point of allowing or subjecting yourself to spaces that can allow you to fall to temptation. And
Mm-hmm.
also, many people keep up with their past relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and which to me doesn't make sense at all because, and they keep up through social media, which to me doesn't make sense because why give your energy to something that's of the past,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's an ex,
Mm-hmm.
somebody that you've had relations with, when you have somebody here live with you in front of
Mm-hmm.
you, not digitally, in front of you here, you can laugh, talk, hug, and do all those kind of things. Why waste your energy and time
Mm-hmm.
with putting just that kind of position?
Mm-hmm. And because of social media, those people of your past, specifically since we're talking about marriage and relationships, like your exes, the people of your past, they're so easily accessible through social media. I mean, it takes a DM, it takes a quick
And DM is
Facebook
direct
message.
message, yes.
Yeah. It takes that quick message, and then now you're reconnected like time hasn't passed. And not only that, with you guys keeping up with each other through the years, time hasn't passed. You know about
It's a
their
click
life.
away.
It's literally a click away.
So you don't really disconnect and get to grow, even if things ended on a on a clean slate or
Mm-hmm.
on without burning the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I just This is my personal take. I just think it's a waste of time
Mm-hmm.
to be wondering what somebody else is doing
Mm-hmm.
when you have your newfound life or your
Exactly.
newfound partner
Mm-hmm.
in front of you. It's a waste of time.
And honestly, with social media, it's I feel like, and you can tell me, Alan,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's like triggering your imagination. It's like allowing your
Oh,
mind to
wow,
just
that's a good
wonder.
point.
So you're seeing your Women Crush Wednesday or Man Crush Monday on Instagram, and you're seeing these amazing lives that they're living. They're going to Thailand and all these places, and they're just having the greatest time of their lives. And it's like you're pick. You guys can tell me too, like if you guys do this, but you're picturing yourself in that position. You're picturing that being you and your friends, or like you see this fitness model or guy or girl on Instagram, and you're picturing yourself being that way. You're picturing you having that body. And I feel like that same concept goes back to the people of your past that are so easily accessible because of social media. And it's like you're imagining where life could have taken you because you're seeing these lives that these people are living. But it's toxic. It's so toxic
Oh
because
gosh, that word toxic.
toxic, hashtag toxic.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, no, but honestly, it's so toxic because you're not enjoying the life that you're living. You're not being with the person that you are now, because you're in la la land looking at all this all these things that are making your mind wonder about people of the past.
How's that song go? Life is worth living. All right, that's a
Is
different
that
one.
JB?
No, I don't know.
That's not Justin Bieber?
It might be. I don't know. I've heard it somewhere, honestly. And for the millennials out there, you guys can let me know what you think in the comments. I would definitely love to hear what you have to say. But I do not. I personally think that it's highly disrespectful
Mm-hmm.
to do Woman Crush Wednesday or Man Crush Monday when in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
because why would you like be so
Mm-hmm.
bold and disrespectful to the
Mm-hmm.
partner you're with to
Mm-hmm.
say that you're crushing on somebody else? That's the
Mm-hmm.
same in my eyes as going
Mm-hmm.
out to dinner
Mm-hmm.
and you've got your eyes on somebody else the whole night.
Mm-hmm.
It's the equivalent. I
So,
mean,
so my
and not
question
only
is,
that, but
mm-hmm.
now you're broadcasting it to the world. It's not as if you just kept it to yourself. You're broadcasting it to the world.
So my question is, but what about the people that do Woman Crush Wednesday or Man Crush Monday, and it's a celebrity?
What's the point? It still doesn't make sense. It's still
Mm-hmm.
disrespectful
Mm-hmm.
because as a married man, I would never put up I would never put up
Mm-hmm.
a woman crush. First of all, celebrities are just people like everybody else.
Very true.
Secondly, they've
Mm-hmm.
just been pedestalized by
Mm-hmm.
society.
Mm-hmm.
But secondly, and also marriages don't really work out in Hollywood, and I wonder why.
Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
what I'm getting at is I would never do a Woman Crush Wednesday, celebrity or not,
Hmm.
it better be a celebrity, because if you do a Woman Crush Wednesday
Hmm.
or a Man Crush Monday and it's somebody that
Hmm.
is in your community, I mean,
Hmm.
you're talking about your neighbor across the street. That's terrible. But to me, a celebrity doesn't make it any better,
Okay.
because it's still disrespectful to your spouse.
Hmm.
I mean, back in the day, I mean, some parts of the world you get killed for even. Wow, that might be too far. That might be too far. But yeah, I think it's highly disrespectful. Celebrity, I mean, the gas attendant, it's all the same.
Yeah, that's so true. And but that brings us back with, I mean, social media just normalizes so much. Uh they normalize wearing whatever you want or nothing at all, even if you're in a relationship. They normalize, I mean, Woman Crush Wednesdays, Man Crush Mondays, also putting all of your relationship business out for the
That's a
world
big
to
one.
see.
That's a
That's
big one.
another one.
That makes a lot of things crumble.
Man, and then man, I can't tell you the arguments that I've seen over social media is ridiculous. And they've also normalized not keeping private things private. I mean, you can send a private text to someone and that text is liable
Yes,
or viable.
liable. That's awesome.
It's liable to be put out on the internet for the world to see.
And that's honestly, uh, in closing, my biggest argument about social media is the fact that people are antisocial, and it's so much simpler and more personal if you
Mhm.
really care to just pick up the phone and call. You don't
Mhm.
have to text somebody.
Mhm.
You don't have to send them memes. You don't have to
Mhm.
send them photos, DMs.
Mhm.
That's impersonal. I
Mhm.
mean, a text on the fly, I get it.
Mhm.
You do it for a small chat and banter,
Mhm.
but calling somebody is the best way to
Mhm.
communicate. Even if it's just a few
Mhm.
words that you guys exchange,
Mhm.
it's way more personal, way
Mhm.
more heartfelt, and
Mhm.
it's the way to go every time.
So I guess just let us know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on social media? Has it helped your relationship? Has it not helped your relationship? Did you meet your husband in the DM?
Yes, and this is in context of relationship,
Mm-hmm.
uh, partnerships, marriages, in that kind of context, because it's a completely different conversation. Not too completely different, but
Mm-hmm.
it takes a different turn when you're talking about single people or individual people.
Okay, yeah,
But thank you guys so
definitely.
much for tuning in. We truly value you guys and love you guys. And we'll
Don't
see you next
forget to
time.
like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can
Yes,
know when
ding,
we
ding,
post another
ding.
video. And thanks so much for tuning in to the
The
the bounce
bounce back.
back.
We're bouncing back from hell.